I'm Joseph Maley from the Telegraph Quartet. I'm one of the violinists of the group, and I am going to take this time to show you some of the ways that I find most helpful to prepare reuniting with my group to start rehearsals back up. Some of the personal things that I put into practice of my part and considerations for specifically Ravel String Quartet, the second movement, from the second violin perspective. Alright, so I'm going to start with the beginning. The very beginning, Ravel is having all the instruments of the quartet play pizzicato, this incredible effect that creates this kind of very angular, almost tribalistic dance. My part goes a little bit like this. So I play this same melody, same kind of groove with Pei Ling, our violist, but while she's doing that with me, Eric, our first violinist, is crossing against us with his melodic pizzicato here. And I'm constantly trying to figure out, well, how do I pit myself against him and how do I join him? Sometimes I'm playing a rhythm 1 and 2 and that crosses against his 1 and 2 and 3 and. And sometimes, as you hear on my second bar, I'm joining him in that. So what I'm trying to work out on my own is how do I imagine Eric's part working against my part, and how do I then work my part as a supportive thing when we're gearing up for the next cell. So I'm trying to think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And to add to that, I'm also trying to feel where Jeremiah reinforces our gesture. Towards the end of the second bar, Jeremiah's going to have 3 notes. They're going to bring us into the third beat bar. He goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So I'm going to try to support that as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. To kind of help the quartet swing into the next thing. So the next part that I am interested in kind of sorting out before I show up with my quartet mates is this moment in the trio section of the quartet where using the bow I'm trying to look for these very different colors. This section, which is in bar 111, both Pei Ling and I are doing this oscillating figure that to me seems very kind of subterranean, kind of underwater. So I'm looking for a color that kind of hollow, close to the fingerboard, that's very kind of suspenseful and calm at the same time. So I'm trying to just kind of catch the spin of the note, but nothing too tangible. And then Ravel asks us to kind of speed up and do the swell throughout the next bar. And so for that, I'm trying to kind of increase my bow speed and get rid of some of the weight in my bow that I may have had from before. Tricky thing to do with another partner because we have all these string crossings and quick little filigree-like notes, but that's part of what I'm trying to practice, the evenness of it and the kind of spontaneousness of it at the same time. So to put those together, those two sections, it should sound something like this. Last part that I wanted to share with you is one of my favorite parts that I get to play in the quartet, which is a part that Ravel labels as quasi-arpa, and he's basically saying that I should play like a harp. And what's wonderful about it is it creates a great ambiance to the real melody that Eric is playing at this moment in the first violin, but nestled in this accompaniment, so-called accompaniment, is the theme from the very beginning. Much slower, of course. because this trio section is much more languid and sensual. But Ravel kind of harmonizes this theme so that it creates a kind of accompaniment. Now, in order to kind of get that to really come across, that it's both a very luxurious rolled chord like a harp or a lyre accompanying Eric's voice, I'm trying to use the kind of looser parts of my string for the lower notes and then roll closer to my bridge, roll closer to the kind of tighter parts of the string so I can bring out that theme on top of that resonance. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little insight into the second violin part of Ravel's String Quartet, the second movement, and look out for Peiling's video, which is going to be coming to you tomorrow, to see what she has to share from the